Good afternoon and good evening, guys. I just want to make this video about why you shouldn't trust just any spirit and why you shouldn't get so heavily immersed into having a relationship with certain spirits. Now, from my experience, I've definitely connected to a lot of different beings and communicated with them, and they, in return didn't really give me anything back. They weren't putting in as much effort as myself. You know, I would kind of go above and beyond because I was kind of in a trance in a way, and kind of starstruck because it's like, whoa, these are spirits. These are who I've heard about. Blah 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 blah. It's completely different when you actually have the experience. I don't care who you are. When you are going into these things, you need to you need to exercise precautions. You need to make sure you have the proper protection. You need to make sure you have the proper shielding. You need to make sure you have the proper defense system and methods to defend yourself when it comes to, communication, because you could easily be attacked. You could easily be manipulated and told to do certain things because you have these certain abilities. People every day are, manipulated into doing these things because they feel like the ill-intended things that are being put into their head are going to appease the being that they are a devotee to. And let me tell you right now, most of the time, that's just a bunch of bullcrap because of the fact that that deity, whether or not they know whether they're going to mess with you or not. They know whether they're going to help you or to harm you before they even get to you, before you even call them. So if they know what they're doing, you should know what you're doing. You should know what you're getting yourself into. This is why I say practice those necessary precautions. As I said, when I first started out all this stuff, I was kind of trusting. Now I'm a tank. Most people might say that I'm kind of, that I'm kind of rude or mean, but I don't care because of the fact that I really find it extremely important to take care of myself first when it comes to contact with spirits. Now, I'm not going to put any spirit before myself because of the fact that I feel that you should present yourself as they present themselves to you. Because, for example, if you're going to be approaching, some super strong, king of this legion of 900 spirits, you know, why would you go up to him and be like, oh my, ah, I bow and I tremble in your presence? Why would you do that? Because then he's going to laugh at you like you're some kind of joke. If you're really wanting to work with them, you need to approach them and you need to tell them, this is what I want. This is what I need to happen. This is what I'm willing to do. You need to will that in your heart, just like if you're doing any kind of work, any kind of affirmations, any kind of rituals. You need to make sure you will that into existence. Will is the most important part of all of these practices. It's one thing to believe in it. It's a whole nother thing to will that stuff into existence. You need to make sure that you can fathom and that you can tangibly, or at least mentally see what it is that you're trying to accomplish when it comes down to establishing that contact with specific spirits. Don't just call to anyone. I've never said to just go and call to anyone. So when I recommend specific spirits for you to communicate with, I'm telling you that I want you to proceed with caution and proceed at your own discretion because of the fact that I am not liable for your well-being. but I want to help. There are so many people who get the runaround when it comes to communicating with different spirits that they think are benefiting them, but they're getting attacked and they're getting drained and they're getting used. That is the reason why you need to pay attention at all times. I'm not perfect. This has happened to me too, but I'll be damned if I let that happen to me again. I feel like this is stuff that needs to be said because there's not too much that is said about it. There's too much praise into using these concepts, these principles, and these energies, and not enough precaution that's taken, not enough care of yourself, not enough strength in yourself, not enough, knowledge of actual self. That is the most important part. That's what I feel, because that will is your knowledge. Because when you know that you can make that happen, it will happen. Because when you know, you believe, those things are combined, and that makes the formula that much stronger. It makes it work that much more. Now, the tools and the candles and the offerings and everything else that comes with it, it definitely plays a big part in it. But those two pieces, those two components, that makes up the entire spectrum of what a ritual is. That makes up the entire spectrum of your work. There is so much to say about this subject. Now, a prime example that I will use with you is the Greys. So many people, because I've recently done a video on the Greys, so many people trust the Greys and they like them. And there's a lot of people who fear them. I say, if there's illusionary tech that is being used to fool you within your dream state and in your waking state, if they're around you and they appear and they can put metal illusions over your eyes to make you seem blind, if they can project energies of love into you to make you feel like they are benevolent, what makes you think that they won't just destroy you, or they won't just take your mind or take your energy or your energy body? What makes you think that you won't become a slave to them? Or what makes you think you won't just become a sacrifice or just a tool, a vessel for them just to use whenever they want? This is why this stuff is so important. It's important that you're doing your research. Now, it's great that you come here and that, you like these videos and everything, but that doesn't mean you should just jump straight into this stuff. If you are interested in these things, I highly advise you to do your studying first. I need you to do your research. You need to be doing your meditation. You need to be actually building your energetic body, or you're going to put yourself into some dangerous situations with some very powerful beings that don't mess around. Now, this is a very serious video, but I felt like it was highly necessary because I'm just seeing way too much of trust in beings that don't deserve it. If they're not willing to put that work in when you test them, then you don't even need to be messing with them. You don't even need to be working with them, because they sure will test you, and they'll test you past your limit. So you need to respect yourself before you even go in respecting them, because they're not going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. Thank you.